Good evening, everyone. Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another very important live video update tonight. So obviously the huge, massive news of this week was obviously that significant victory that Nick Patterson had in the county court. Massive win for Nick and his team. Now, for those of you who might be watching this and might not be aware of Nick Patterson's story, he's actually a former MMA fighter. We've had him on our radio show in the past. He's the one who kept his MMA gym open during COVID, despite the police and the so-called health authorities trying to shut him down. He then went out with a bunch of his friends to one of the many protests that were being held in Melbourne during that COVID period. The police closed in on them. They then began physically attacking them. And then, of course, as the police tend to do, tried to turn everything around on Nick and his friends and say that they were the ones who actually attacked the police. Well, thankfully this week a county court judge saw right through the police lies, forced the police to actually withdraw all of their trumped up charges against Nick because the judge ruled that their evidence was inadmissible because it wasn't at all believable. Now, if you want to find out more about that particular ruling, Rebel News did a great story on it. That's the article there, if you want to go and look it up. It is entitled, "Watch, Judge Scolds Dishonest Cops as Freedom Fighter Wins Case. Court rules police evidence inadmissible in a significant victory for Melbourne's Nick Patterson as prosecution drops its case." A Melbourne court has declared crucial police evidence inadmissible, marking a significant victory for Nick Patterson, a prominent figure in Victoria's fight for freedom. Following a tumultuous legal battle, which has been covered extensively at Rebel News, Patterson emerged triumphant, with the prosecution now completely dropping its case against him. Nick, known for his activism against harsh COVID-19 restrictions, was at the centre of a legal saga stemming from a protest incident where he and his companions were confronted by law enforcement. He endured 29 days in jail and faced serious charges, including violent offences against police. However, a recent court ruling delivered a blow to the prosecution's case. During a 5-day pre-trial hearing, Nick's legal team successfully argued for the exclusion of key evidence under Section 138 of the Evidence Act. This evidence, including police statements and video footage, was deemed inadmissible due to allegations of police targeting and deliberate misconduct. The presiding judge highlighted discrepancies between police statements and the actual events captured on body-worn cameras. Contrary to police claims, the footage revealed no aggressive behaviour from Patterson or his associates. Instead, it portrayed police initiating the altercation and employing excessive force, which is something we saw time and time again during that COVID period. In a scathing rebuke, the judge denounced the police's conduct as reckless and arbitrary, noting their failure to adhere to legal procedures. The ruling underscored the importance of upholding civil liberties and condemned any unwarranted use of force by law enforcement. So finally, there's an honest judge out there. Following the court's decision, Nick expressed his intention to pursue legal action against the police, both civilly and criminally. He remains resolute in his stand against injustice and urges others to stand firm in defending their rights, something that we've been telling people for many years now. So hopefully that brings some confidence and some reaffirmation to people of why it's so important to keep standing up for yourself. So a huge shout out and congratulations to Nick and his team for standing their ground. Now, we did cover that case in detail on Tuesday night's radio show, and we actually even went through some of the actual transcript from the judgment. And again, you'll hear that the judge was indeed very scathing of the police in that judgment. So if you want to hear more about it, please do make sure you listen to that podcast, which has now been uploaded. So from one court case to another, with prosecutors once again dropping charges. Unfortunately, in this instance, it was for very different reasons. In this instance, it was, of course, the government using their wonderful legal loopholes to avoid being held accountable for their epic failures during the hotel quarantine debacle. So if anyone wants the update, the unfortunate update on that, then please have a look at this article. It is entitled "Bid to Prosecute Victorian Government Over COVID-19 Hotel Quarantine Collapses in Court." Victoria's workplace safety watchdog said it is deeply disappointed after prosecutors dropped dozens of charges laid against the state government over its ill-fated COVID-19 hotel quarantine program. The health department was facing 58 charges after infection control breaches from its first hotel quarantine program led to the deadly second wave in 2020. WorkSafe has alleged the government failed to provide a safe working environment for its employees and put the public at risk. Because, of course, as we said a million times on these videos, hotels were never designed to be quarantine facilities. They were completely inadequate for that purpose. In a statement, a spokesperson for Victoria's Office of Public Prosecutions explained the case had collapsed after the evidence of 10 witnesses was ruled inadmissible by the County Court of Victoria in a pre-trial ruling. So again, we've got the exact opposite of what happened in Nick's case. A spokesperson said all of the witnesses were agents or employees of the health department and had given evidence to an inquiry into the hotel quarantine program. Spokesperson said laws which restricted the use of information given in an inquiry and in criminal proceedings had informed the judge's decision last month. I mean, these laws clearly need to be changed, and they need to be changed very, very quickly. So I urge people, please, find a copy of this article, send it to your local member of parliament and ask them what they're doing about these insane laws that the government can use as blatant loopholes, okay, to avoid any accountability. The court's ruling was that these witnesses provided statements to the inquiry on the department's behalf. For that reason, the court ruled that evidence arising from those statements to the inquiry was not admissible against the department in this criminal proceeding. Why? If they've made a statement, they've made a statement. It doesn't matter that the statement's for that particular purpose. A statement's still a statement. A sworn statement's still a sworn statement. If they did it, then they did it. I mean, it's just a little technicality that the government loves to expose. Spokesperson said prosecutors ultimately decided there were not reasonable prospects of challenging the ruling and no reasonable prospects of conviction without the evidence. As a result, the prosecution was discontinued on Tuesday. And it goes on to say, opposition leader John Pasuto said the magnitude of the failings in the quarantine program should result in prosecutions. Absolutely they should. I think this will be deeply disappointing for Victorians, he said. I wouldn't limit it to Victorians. I think many people around the entire country know of the absolute debacle with hotel quarantine, not only in Victoria, but in their own states as well. And I would think they would all be deeply disappointed. What Victorians want is somebody fairly and reasonably to be held responsible. Absolutely. I don't think that's too much to ask. Somebody has to be held accountable somewhere, and it just seems with this government, no one is held accountable for anything. And, that is certainly true. But sadly, of course, it's not just the Victorian government that's managed, to avoid accountability. It's all of them. It's all of the state governments around the country and the federal government as well. Victoria just seems to be, the most obvious and prominent one when stories like that hit the media. Now, of course, it's not only the government that seems to be able to constantly dodge any attempts at accountability. The banks are doing a really great job of it as well. Now, of course, the latest is Macquarie Bank, who are going completely cashless this month. Despite, of course, the fact that that's not actually what many of their own customers want. So again, here is an article that I urge you all to have a look at, especially if you or anyone you know banks with Macquarie. And it says, all Macquarie Bank branches to go cashless in shift to digital only. Customers at a major Australian bank will be stopped from withdrawing and depositing cash and cheques this month as it shifts towards completely digital payments. Macquarie Bank last year announced it would phase out cash and cheque payments for customers from this year, citing a shift in customers' banking habits. Really? Not sure that I believe that. From May 20th, Macquarie customers will not be able to access over-the-counter services at Macquarie offices or order new checkbooks. Checkbooks for new cash management accounts were first to go when the bank ditched the service in January. Then in March, Macquarie ceased its automated telephone banking service, meaning customers can no longer make payments over the phone. So it's got nothing to do with cash. They're just, clearly just trying to screw their customers over any way they can. Come November the 1st, customers will not be able to write or deposit personal cheques, request or deposit bank cheques, or make super contributions or payments via cheques. Not at all. Does it even really qualify as a bank once they eliminate all those essential banking services? Not sure. Macquarie will also end its partnership with NAB branches, meaning no depositing cash or cheques over the counter at NAB either. It's like they just don't want their customers' business at all. Well, if that's what they want, make sure they get it. As a digital bank, we're committed to transitioning to completely digital payments and continuing to ensure our customers can access secure and reliable digital payment options, Macquarie said. Sounds to me like they just want to go broke. So let's help them do that. Customers will still be able to withdraw cash at an ATM. Woo! Whoop-de-doo! Seriously, what, at a limit of $1,000 a day or something? While cash is no longer king, there has been a small comeback in withdrawals. The RBA's retail payments report published last month revealed Australians withdrew $9.5 billion in total from ATMs in February 2024, a growth rate of 9.5% over the year from February 2023. The report showed Aussies made 30.9 million ATM withdrawals, a 3.7% rise over the 12 months. So those are certainly encouraging figures. And, obviously it, goes without saying that people should definitely be boycotting Macquarie Bank and certainly moving to other banks or building societies, even more preferably if they do have any money tied up with Macquarie. And again, those final figures are very promising. And as always, I do encourage people to keep withdrawing cash as often as possible. Go every day, every second day, at least a few times a week if you can, and take cash out on a regular basis. And of course, keep using cash at every single possible opportunity. So this, of course, is yet another timely reminder. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you add your signature to Jason's petition. Again, there should be a link going up in the comments. If you're watching this not on Facebook, on YouTube or BitChute, just do a search online for petition to legislate a formal cash and banking guarantee in this country. You'll find that petition, add your name, and let's put a dent in this relentless push towards us constantly trying to become a cashless society. Of course, make sure you join our Call Out Cashless Businesses Facebook group. Again, let's keep naming and shaming these businesses that refuse to accept cash, and of course promote those that do accept it. And don't forget, of course, that Cash is King discussion group, a really great place to share these articles, share these videos, talk about, cash is king, keeping cash alive, CBDCs, all those sorts of things. Again, you'll find links in the comment section, or again, just do a search on Facebook. Now, as if you needed any other reasons why it is so important to keep rejecting and pushing back against this, incessant cashless agenda, the digital ID push, keeping everything online, please make sure that you are aware of the latest data breaches that have occurred just as recently as this week. The first one affects Qantas passengers. So if you or someone you know is a Qantas passenger, please make sure you have a look at this article. And it says, Qantas investigating app glitch exposing passenger details. Qantas says it is investigating an issue with its app where users are reporting being able to see other passengers' details and boarding passes on their own devices. 9 News understands the incident has happened following an app update. Technology expert Trevor Long told Today the breach allowed users to see where other customers were travelling. You really want strangers knowing where you're going, when you're going there, and all the rest of it? That's for sure. We're urgently working to resolve the issue impacting the Qantas app this morning, and we sincerely apologise to our customers who've been impacted, blah. We're investigating whether this issue may have been caused by recent system changes. It doesn't matter what caused it, it shouldn't have happened. That's the key takeaway here, people. Please also be aware of social media scams at this time, Qantas said. Okay, because that's, that excuses it all. Well, we've told you to watch out, so, we're all good now. I don't think so. We'll continue to provide more information as soon as we can. Oh, that's, really comforting. Long told today that he captured at least 12 people's details, including their boarding passes, within just 15 minutes. The thing with a boarding pass is that it has a QR code in it, and that's valid until the flight. Even if they resolve the issue, that boarding pass is valid. Qantas is going to have to reissue boarding passes at the very least, which will create chaos for people who save the boarding pass on their digital wallet on their smartphone. Again, another crystal clear reason not to do that, not to use these apps and keep printing off the old paper tickets and using the old systems that are tried, tested and proven. I mean, again, this is the most worrying thing, at least to me. Okay, if a company as big as Qantas can't keep your data safe, then what hope do any of these other smaller companies have? And where's the assurance that even companies larger than Qantas, okay, or certainly government agencies, won't be similarly affected by various software updates? Okay, if it's happened to one company, it could happen to another. It could happen to the government's software updates and all the rest of it. Okay, and anyone out there watching this who's in New South Wales should be especially worried, as this article details that a whole bunch of New South Wales data has just been exposed. So it says, New South Wales pub and RSL patrons impacted by major data breach. New South Wales pub and RSL patrons could be impacted by a major data breach. Hospitality group Merivale has also been named. Around 1 million patrons have already had their driver's licences shared online, the unwitting victims of a pay battle between Australian-based tech company Outerbox and its Philippine-based offshore developers. Outerbox supplies gaming and hospitality products to New South Wales. Its Philippine developers claim they have not been paid for work they completed over a year ago. The developers set up a website called HaveIBeenOuterboxed.com, which has published the driver's license details of more than 1 million people who visited pubs and clubs across Australia, Asia, and the US. Other details include signatures, club membership data, home address, birthday, phone number, club visit timestamps, and slot machine usage. Do you really want complete strangers knowing that kind of information? Most identifying information at this time has been redacted, and people can search for their name on the website to determine if their data has been compromised. While limited information is currently known, we understand that some personal information of patrons of the clubs that use this IT provider may have been compromised, a Clubs New South Wales spokesperson said. In the interim, club patrons are advised to take extra caution when reviewing emails or texts and to avoid clicking on any suspicious or unfamiliar links. The clubs concerned are working towards notifying all impacted patrons. Outerbox released a statement addressing the issue. Outerbox has become aware of a potential breach of data by an unauthorised third party from a sign-in system used by our clients. We are working as a priority to determine the facts around this incident. We've notified the relevant authorities and are investigating in cooperation with law enforcement. An active police investigation is now underway. So again, this is really, really concerning stuff, and these latest data breaches just highlight the problem with putting so much personal, private information up online or up in the cloud or in apps. Software updates, mistakes, malicious attacks, pay disputes between developers. I mean, there are so many reasons and so many possibilities why your private personal data can be breached. Why would you even risk it? Why would you even let them have it in the first place? Now, speaking of New South Wales, and especially speaking of RSLs, we are obviously running our live events in Sydney this weekend, and it is at the Patterson RSL. Now, we are providing a list to the RSL of all the attendees, so you won't have to do the whole license scanning and you won't be subjected to that system. So rest assured, if you are coming to our events, that will not be an issue. Of course, we do have our free introductory evening tomorrow night. Again, it's free. Okay, there's 5 million people in Sydney, so there should be 5 million people at the event. I can assure you at present there's not. There is absolutely no excuse for people not to turn up. So please make sure you jump online and secure your seat if you want one. Then, of course, we've got our intermediate and advanced seminars on the Saturday and Sunday. Now, please, if you have already booked a seat, make sure you check your emails. If you are a Gmail user for some strange reason after all this time, we've been warning people, don't use Gmail. They're owned by Google. They block everything. If you're still using Gmail, make sure you check your junk mail folder. But there was a very special last minute attendee email that was sent out a few hours ago to all registered attendees for tomorrow night. So please make sure that you check your email for that very important email update. Now, just a heads up that we did originally book a much larger room at the venue for our Sydney event. So there are still some seats available. As I said, especially for the free event, it's free. There's no reason not to come. But we've also brought along 5 extra workbooks. So there's 5 extra seats that are available for those events. And if people want the workbooks to go with them, and of course, don't forget that the Sunday workbook does include an actual CD with all of the documents that we refer to throughout the weekend's event that you can just plug in your computer and start using straight away after that event. So I've just looked at the weather forecast. It is going to be pouring with rain all weekend. Okay, so I'm very hopeful, fingers crossed, that people in Sydney are going to realise there's nothing else better that you can do. There's no point sitting at home in front of the idiot box. Okay, get along to the events and learn about your rights. This is the last events that we will be doing in Sydney. We usually try and discourage any last minute bookings, but given that it's the last time we're going to be there, we don't want anyone to miss out. So please jump on the website or send us an email if you've got any questions, and we will try and get you a seat to this weekend's events. Now, whether you're in Sydney or, of course, in any of the other cities where we're running live events this year, if you go to our seminar page, again, you'll find a link in the description, and you can secure your seats. All right, so as always, I'm going to finish off tonight's video with some of the latest memes. Now, firstly, very importantly, this has been doing the rounds of late. So the 4th of May, so that will, of course, be Saturday this week, that there is a push to avoid the major supermarkets, avoid Woolworths and avoid Coles. Shop at one of the the smaller, like an IGA or an independent grocer or your local butcher or someone like that. Let's stay away from those majors, and may the 4th be with the people, not with the big multinational companies. And on that same token, of course, we do urge everyone to use cash. We certainly don't want it to be the second option that it mentions there. Again, please keep using cash at all times. Yes, the good old science. We're constantly told about the science and follow the science, but these are the key words that we should be looking out for, that of course we never hear in the mainstream media. It's always follow the science. There's a very firm psychological reason why the catchphrase of the day is follow the science and not confirm the science, or validate the science, or debate the science, or replicate the science. Science is never settled or followed unless evil is trying to set a trap for the public. And I think we saw that very, very clearly over the past few years. Now, of course, I know that there'll be people out there go, "Oh, Mike, you're a conspiracy theorist." Well, I have no problem with that term, because this spells out the reality of conspiracy theorists very, very clearly. So it says, conspiracy theorists, otherwise known as people capable of pattern recognition. And it says pattern recognition, according to IQ test designers, is a key determinant of a person's potential to think logically, verbally, numerically, and spatially. Compared to all mental abilities, pattern recognition is said to have the highest correlation with the so-called general intelligence factor. So, if anyone out there calls you a conspiracy theorist, just thank them, because what they're actually telling you is that you are very, very intelligent and you're very good at pattern recognition. And all you need to do is open your eyes and just look out into the world at the moment, and you can see many, many, many patterns repeating themselves. So, of course, keep an eye out for those. So I am going to leave things there for tonight. As always, I do urge you to make use of all of the various resources that are available to you. Okay, all of the information on the websites that we recommend, all of these videos, all of our radio shows, all of those resources to please get informed, get fired up, and get proactive. We need that this year more than ever before. We've got tons of free information on our website. These videos, as always, are completely free to watch. You'll find them on our BitChute channel, on our YouTube channel, and of course on the videos tab on our website. If you want to go above and beyond that, please make sure you grab a copy of our book, The Essential Step-by-Step Manual for Understanding and Exercising Your Rights. Of course, that Aussie Speeding Fines book, which we've read out testimonials from many times for successfully challenging all manner of unjust and unlawful fines. And of course, we do know a lot of people are struggling financially, so please stop throwing good money after bad at these unsecured loans, your personal loans, your credit cards, things like that. They can be very easily discharged with that tried, tested and proven 4-step process. Of course, you can get these all individually. You can get them as part of the combo pack. We do, of course, have the Know Your Rights tote bag, which is included just as a little bonus, free of charge. Don't forget, the caps and beanies are available. The cooler weather is coming, so grab your beanies as well. If you haven't already got one, people come, they see the logo, they start having a chat. It's a great way to meet like-minded people. And of course, very importantly, don't forget that home study course. We do encourage everyone to please do whatever they need to do to get along to one of our live events this year. But if for some unknown reason you still can't do that, please make sure you grab a copy of our home study course, which is, of course, a complete recording of one of those 2.5-day events. It's over 17 DVDs. Again, that CD that I showed you with all the documents, that's all included in there. 3 custom-made workbooks with sections there next, so that you can write notes next to every single slide from every single presentation. You can pause, rewind, fast forward in the comfort of your own home, and it is a great resource that you'll come back to again and again and again. All right, so I'm going to leave things there. I hope to see many of you up in Sydney this weekend. Again, as I said, if you've got any issues, any concerns, money worries, anything like that, shoot us an email. We will do our best to work with you. Otherwise, please, any last minute bookings, we will add those to the attendees, and we hope to see you all on the weekend. Until then, take care.